Alright, so this 7 Days to Die video isn't canon. It's not part of the huge like fight scene that I had, but I realized in that game, because I hadn't set it up right. That's down to me, and that's my bad. I thought I got the achievements, the trophies for the longest life, but I didn't. I messed it up, I set it up wrong, and basically I had to start up on a separate save file, and all I have to do is live for another 4.5 hours, 4 hours and 10 minutes now, just to get the trophy for the longest life, where you have to stay alive for 20 hours and 36 minutes is what I believe that Siri calculated it to be. Thank you, Siri. You are amazing. So I couldn't bother to work it out, so I asked Siri. but yeah, so I got a farm going, I got all of this going. I did die once. I nearly made it. I made it to 15 hours, and then a pack of dogs from out of the wilderness just came and ate me. There wasn't much I could do. I didn't learn how to craft armor yet. I wasn't that stage. It was only night 14, but I'd already got some of the achievements for some of the trophies. I keep saying achievements. I was on the Xbox the other day, and it just carries over. So I got some of the trophies leading up to that point, and I just thought, if I can just stay alive, I'll be fine. And then I realized I didn't, and the pack of dogs just ate me alive. They just really, dogs are the worst, absolute worst. Watch me run into a pack of dogs soon again. But yeah, I'm just gonna harvest these guys and repair the fence wall. So I just thought I'd do a few things for people. If you just bought this game, or if you've done this game, you didn't know how to work it, or just in general, if you just follow this and think, how'd you get to that stage, Tombo? Well, basically, the first thing you do before anything else is you find yourself a house and call it home. So you open up the map, mine's square, then R1 again to the map, and then you hit triangle, and then save waypoints, and then you make yourself like a little symbol, like a castle symbol, or you can see my beds on that map, but the castle means that is home. This is where I lay my hats, this is my home, and this is the place I have to defend. So you wanna, I would say, typically go for this sort of house. This is the house I've used many times before for a starting base, one of the first bases I ever built. Yeah, don't forget to crouch as well. Like, I thought I heard someone walking up on me there. It's always hard to tell if it's water or if that's human, well, zombie. So it tells you if you're detected, if you're being like actively hunted or just sensed. If you're sensed, you can usually just duck down and sort of lurk away in the shadows. Lurk. But if you are detected, then if you're actively hunted and it's night, then you're gonna have to run or stand and fight. But if it's day, you can probably escape if you've got zombies set to don't run. And if it's night, stand and fight, unless there's a horde and you're near base. Which is a number on this one today. They really ripped up my sands, which is annoying, but hey ho. So once you found the base, the first thing you're gonna need is wood, and a lot of it. Do all the objectives. So top right, you can see I got an objective of kill chickens, but before you do all that, it will say like make cloth clothes, farm grass, and pick up this sort of thing, which is grass, which you're gonna need a lot of over time. But just do all those objectives, and that will unlock a lot of skill points for you to start off with. It'll also help you just in general with the game. And then yeah, start looking for a house almost immediately, because when you spawn it'll be day. Excuse me. But it will be going into night sooner than you think. You think, oh, you know, I got loads of time, but every minute passes as like 2 seconds, so it's 2 seconds a minute, I think. Check the time under the N there. Yeah, I think it's 2 seconds is a minute, so you don't have as much time as you think, especially starting out. So the first thing I would do is like look for a house, look for a safe area, something you can just mildly fortify and survive in. It's good for shelter. If it starts raining, it will keep the roof, you got a roof over your head. Ooh, leveled up again, nice. So yeah, once you found yourself a nice little shelter, just a little place somewhere to call your home and call your own, start just fortifying it as much as possible. Reinforce the walls and lay out spikes in the front. I can't stress that enough. Spikes take a hella ton time to make. Even now, like, I've upped it so that they are faster to craft. A wooden spike takes 9 seconds, but when you think about that, you got like as many as you can, as many as I have there, to get a full defense going, to surround your house with spikes. 9 seconds to spike, and it depends on the size of the house, but if you've got a big house, then it's going to take a long time to build a complete defense around it, and you probably won't. Hello. Yeah, this is the other thing you want to do, is grab a bow almost immediately. Hello guys. So all you'll have to start with is stone arrows. It's going to take a few goes to get these guys. Aim for the head, and that does more damage. Obviously, it's not always easy to, but when shambles come like this, they can be a little intimidating in a huge pack, and it might be intimidating to walk away or try and club them. Bow and arrow is the best way to go about it, and just don't get stuck on a tree like I'm doing there. Just let them come at you slowly, and just take your time with it a bit more, because you can always, even backing up, you can outrun them. Oh, you dead. Ow. Yep, me and a tree getting awfully cozy here. Alright. Back up a little bit more over here. Just lead them away somewhere I've got a bit more range. These guys are just... There we go. Alright, so big chunga. Oh, he's gonna hit me, yeah. Let him get too close. Aiming is so difficult in this. I always have trouble because it's like, it's a lot more, ooh, that was a nasty death. It's a lot more finicky than it looks. So to heal up you can use food, but I've got some painkillers here. Undetected, so there's no one left. Take painkillers, drink some water, that replenishes your water, and that will slowly start to heal you over time, which increases your medicine bar. And then just search them, and when you kill them, you'll have an axe at this point, and when you stomp them into nothing, they'll give you bones. When you get your first bone, turn that into a bone shiv, and that's really quick to make, and then just start slicing up with your bone shiv, and that will increase your bladed weapons, and that would be good going forward, because then you'll be able to get like when you come across deer, you'll be able to take more meat from them, take more like skin from them, take better. It just increases everything, and you see how much stuff these guys have when they drop. So it's always worth trying to get as much as you can from zombies, even though sometimes it's incredibly annoying. I believe I came up this way. Yes. I suppose a big part of this game is like waste nothing, because oh, hello tree. Everything has a use, even zombie flesh, even though it's not useful immediately. Eventually you're going to use it to create fertilizer for your plants. So all this that I'm planting here, I'm at the point now where I can't properly fertilize it. So it's when you plant one, you usually get 2 out of it. But with fertilizer you can get 3 or I think even 4 with it. So it will increase the bounty exponentially, so it's always good to have. And you can see I've already started to plant my next crop as well before I harvest this one, so the stuff that I need to grow, the important stuff, is growing now. Farming is something that should happen. Oh, that's all my wood, but that's alright. Plant these and that'll probably be gone, but I've got enough wood for now. Farming is one of those things that should happen almost as soon as you can. Like, as soon as you can make a plow, start farming. Because it's something that I never really got into until later in the game. And I basically used... There we go. I used... I mean... all of the stuff that like I could find in the streets and in the game, like tins of food or hunting. I hunted a lot of things and like meat makes you smell, so it attracts zombies. So I was just had a cupboard full of tins and meat, and that was bad really, because I was just, although the zombies can't smell the meat through the cupboards, obviously not, it just meant that I had to work extra hard to get a load of stuff that I didn't really need if I could just farm for most of my food. Right now I don't actually need to go out into the world and look for tins. I can just wait 3 or 4 days and this all grows, and it's everything I need. So much so that right now I'm replanting, turning everything that I harvest into seeds and replanting it with enough to spare that I don't need to we're several weeks down the line when the first planting started. Always double checking. So I don't actually need to plant it all. We're at like 476 corn with that many seeds. I don't have that big a plot of land, but it's enough that I can recoup my losses and then some. If I had, I've got 50 meat which I just collected. I had a whole hunting day where I just hunted a lot of animals. So I'm good for food. I'm in a very good position. So I don't actually have to go and explore the dangerous areas anymore, which is good for this whole timestamp thing, because as soon as this timestamp is over, then I'm just going to delete the save file. I don't think I want to keep it. Same as my other house. As soon as like the day is over, as soon as all of that is finished, I'm just going to delete the save file and delete the game, because as fun as this has been, it's very outdated and it's taken up a hella ton of space. I'm hot. Let's take off the bandana. There we go. So no, I'm not going to keep the save file when I'm done, basically. You sound like a zombie when you do that. I feel hard, but yeah. But yeah, So, what was I saying before about houses, before all this started? Yeah, if you find yourself in a position where you can't find a house, if you think, right, Tombo, you said find a house, I can't find a house, I'm panicking, it's nearly night, start making wooden blocks. And, like, with all the wood you collected, just make a 1x1 shelter. Just something to hold up the night in. It doesn't matter if it's not glorious, it doesn't matter if it's huge, as long as you're protected in there and nothing can get you. And, like, duck down. The first, like, night is usually terrible. And I found once I created a little shelter, a little mining shelter, I was just like 1x1. It's not going to be glorious, it's not going to be nice, it's just going to be enough to get me through the night, and it's really boring standing there doing nothing through the night. But it will just be enough just to keep me alive. And then the next night I walked out and I basically went over a hill and there was a perfectly good house there. I was like, God damn it. But it was all I could think to do at the time. It was getting late and I had to make a decision. Either you plow on in the hopes that you'll find a place, or you make your own place. And that was my choice, and that's what I did. It turned out to be, you know, I didn't know that house was there, and I still think it was the right choice. Because if you die, all your stuff drops and you respawn randomly in another part of the map. If you die with a bed, you can always spawn on your bed. Like my bed's over there, I'd always spawn there. So that's gonna be where my base is. But as soon as you put down another bed, it will spawn you at that bed instead. So it's always important to remember, like, where is my bed? Check it on the map. Do I want to die here? Because if you're right across somewhere else in a dangerous territory and you've got all your weapons and all your stuff on you, then no, you probably don't want to. Might be an idea to make a small shelter and just stay the night in squalor than just die outright. Alright. This is always a little tedious as well, because sometimes it's a bit finicky about where you put it. Sometimes you might have to stand right over it and just jump and do that to get it to go down, because sometimes it's just really annoying. But yeah, so once you've got your shelter and once you've got your house and you're perfectly happy that you're, you know, safe enough, and even if you can't find a house and at this point you're like, alright, so you said look for another house, I can't find a house, use your 1x1 cabin and just expand it. Create your own cabin, create your own base, and just start expanding it. But I would say, like, almost immediately, the first problem you're going to run into is water. I had this with my very first game. I couldn't find water for love nor money. I just had to stumble by into houses and hope that there was water in there, even murky water that I could cook and make into just drinkable, potable water. And that's all I did for ages, until eventually I found a house with a swimming pool in it. And that house was very insecure, so I claimed another nearby house and made that my base, and just went next door to the swimming pool whenever I needed water. Right, so we're at the 12 o'clock mark now, and this is where the plane comes. I hear it. And it drops packages. You see, they just appeared on my map. So you got to look at where those are. So there's one there, and there's one there. It's usually in a straight line, so it will drop there and there, and it's flown over that pattern. So this one I think I can get to this round, or that one, but I can't get them both at once. But because I want to finish my farm before it gets dark, I'm just going to leave them till tomorrow. But starting off, packages can be very important, but you've got to weigh up the risk. Can I get there? Can I get back? Do I have enough to... Those zombies. Do I have enough to... enough space to carry it? Because there's a lot in a care package. It's usually health packs, maybe a few weapon parts, some tablets or health So they're worth going to get, but sometimes you've got to think about like distance, speed, and what you're doing. Is the thing that you're doing more important? Like if you're fortifying your house, is it better to fortify your house rather than get a care package? Of course, night 7 is the night where it all kicks off, and almost everyone dies in the first night. I'm gonna have to fill that in another day. Like hardly anyone survives the first night without some sort of tutorial helping them out, telling them what to do. And like fortification is key to that. It's key to surviving any night really, but without proper fortification a lot of people die. It's a sad fact. And then of course you respawn where all the zombies are in your house, and you'll probably die again and again and again until you're at something like 80 health, and you're really thinking, oh, why did I buy this game? But it gets better, and if you can fortify, and if you can survive the first night, that's really good. If you haven't survived the first night and you're on like night 60 now, and you're like, oh god, why I still can't get this, then fortification spikes those individual spikes. I mean, you can get other ones, barbed wire and metal spikes, but honestly, like the wooden spikes are the best. They slow them right down. You can shoot them, you can bow and arrow them, will them, tell them. You can like if you've got a gun, you can use a gun. It's just really easier to shoot them when they're hitting a spike wall, and they still run at you, and the policemen are the worst because the policemen actually explode. If you see a policeman and you haven't got much in the way of weaponry and it's night, just duck down and slink away. Slink into the shadows. Oops, I fell in the water. Yeah, can you get out, please? So you see, I'm just basically filling up. It's really boring this, but at least I can talk to you while I'm doing it. Alright, so this one is on one. Yeah, there it is. There we go. Alright, so once you've fortified your house, as soon as you can, start researching skills. You should be getting some stuff as you go on, like survivor and camel. Survivor means you won't have to eat as much, camel means you won't have to drink as much. I maxed out sexual Tyrannosaurus as soon as I could, because when you're stopped, when you're resting like this and not moving forward back, your stamina increases exponentially, and you'll need that, especially if you're running back home after raids on, you like raided a town or raided a small area, picked up a load of good stuff, and you look at the clock and you think, oh, it's getting quite late and I've got a long way to travel, run, out of stamina, and you stop. And that's when you want to regen stamina as fast as possible outside in the dark and get killed, and then you'll have to lose all your stuff and then have to go back the next day with half stuff. And by that I mean like, so if you're smart like me, you've got an emergency pair of socks, which is what I call it. So you got an emergency gun, an emergency, pair of clothes. You got stones, grass. If you die somewhere and you need to recover your stuff, you've got that stuff ready to go, so that you're like, hey, I've lost all my stuff, but it's okay because I've got all this and I can go and grab that stuff with this. And you might have to make 2 trips that time because like you've got the stuff on your person and then you're picking up stuff that then you can't equip, so you might have to go and come back or decide what you want to pick up on the way there and be like, hey, I want the gun, I want the bullets, I want this, that, I want the armor, I want this, I want that, but I'll come back to the clothes later because they're good clothes, but I can do with these for a while. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting game here because you've got to make a lot of like choices almost immediately, and there's a lot of choices that you make that will like and certainly in terms of skill, affect you for a while. So, like, everything you craft stacks up. So if you craft a load of stuff and think, hey, this is good, I want to craft stuff faster, I'll branch out and fill up the skill tree, then you can't create steel, because steel is a skill that takes 15 skill points, I think, for steel. And things like, I would say, like, only buy the things that are 10 and above. So quicker crafting isn't so much of a deal, but in that first time when you're building spikes, I crafted one. Now I'm later into the game and I got bigger stuff to craft, so I sped it up a bit so that I could make this huge farm and that sort of thing. Like, steel is an interesting one. Steel smithing, that one's really good. Concrete mixing I did in the case I got there. That builds on its own, so don't worry about that so much. Anything 1 point builds on its own. Chemistry station is something that I made recently. So once you're done with making axes and you started doing the steel smithing, start making steel. It will help reinforce your door. You can reinforce, you can make things like the knife with steel, which will increase what you cut from animals. And just if you're caught next to a zombie and all you've got is a knife, it's a good weapon to have. What else is good? Certainly, like, hammers you can make with that. And as soon as you find a wrench, you'll need to research a workbench. Workbenches are very important as well. That's another one, good one to research. And just go along by slowly building, much as you would in Minecraft, but there's more zombies coming to kill you. But yeah, just keep researching and just keep building your fixed skill levels, those big ones, the 15 marks, the 30 marks. And just as you cut down trees on a daily basis, that will increase your mining. But you'll also want miner 69er, which is not as it sounds, I swear. But that will help increase what you get from trees. So as you cut down trees, you'll get more like back from them. Add something to eat here. So as you can see, as I'm drinking here, it appears in my left hand column what I need to survive on. So it'll show like food going up and going down. If it's salty, it usually takes the drinks down. But I've got enough to keep going. And you don't want to fill up like all of that straight away, because it kind of is a little counterintuitive after a while. You don't want to be thirsty all the time and hungry all the time, because then you'll burn through your food. But on the other hand, the way you level up in this game and get more health in this game, I should say, is through eating. So if you eat good stuff like meat pies and that sort of thing, the blueberry pies and the meats like, what should we do here, like 500? And that will all just like level up over time, so you don't need to do any of that. It's just things that need to be bought outright. And steel smithing is a big one. I would say do that. Do one of the camel, one of the food, sexual Tyrannosaurus as much as you can, steel smithing, workbench, chemistry station, and just do it as you go along. Like, so start off with the food, then work on stamina, then work on steel, then work on workbench, then work on, like, and you get points for killing zombies. So stuff is happening. There's a lot of zombies coming. I just fought them in the distance going over the farm, and I realized how many there actually are. So I switched to the blunderbuss, which is Gonna break these guys down a little bit for me first. Blunderbuss you can make as soon as you start making steel. It's the first weapon that you can actually get that shoots. It doesn't take a lot to make, you just need leather, which you can get from either sofas or... Right, I'm out. Into the arrows. Sofas or animals is another good one. My steel arrowheads here striking him quite nicely. He's dead. Okay, where are the rest of the hordes? Because I did hear them, and I did see them. Head back to the farm. They all pretty much went straight over up here, I think. Yep, there they all are. There was quite a few shamblers. There's another one. There's another one. They're all around. But skill points. Nope. Not today, zombies. Come out the water, please, or I can shoot you. It's just because when I want to harvest them, I don't want to have to dive underwater. You do get health underwater, but... Okay. Well, they're dead. So that was quite the wave, but you can see already I've recouped my health. Okay. Alright, so it's getting dark. Let's finish planting and I'll go back for all those corpses later, because there's probably some good stuff on them. Yeah, that I can't get to right now, which is unfortunate, but hey ho, what are you gonna do? Clear these off the field if you can. So things like bones are good for shivs, but they're also good for if you combine that with dirty water, like the water you just pick up out of the stream without cooking it and turn it into potable water, then you can make glue with that. Once you've done that with made glue, if you pick up cotton and combine cotton strips with turn the cotton into cotton strips, combine that with the glue, and you can make duct tape. Duct tape can be used for a lot of stuff, and it goes into making the blunderbuss actually. So you'll need that as well. It's getting quite late. I'm going to make a run back to the house in a minute, but I just want to plant as much as I can before that happens. I got plenty of ammunition back at the house, and I'm not really worried. A blunderbuss is, if you get it near the head, it's a one-shot kill. And on dogs particularly, it's a very good deterrent, because if you get a pack of dogs, a blunderbuss will do a lot of work. Because of the way they move and because of their speed, they're very hard to outrun. So watch me get swarmed by dogs in a minute now. It'll be just annoying as hell. If I die right now, I'll be back to the drawing board. In fact, I'm just gonna run back home, because that's it. I can't take the risk at the moment. It would mean a lot of time out of my... Let's keep the knife out and just have the knife. Don't run with knives, people. Just sprint back home. So I have to do some defensive work here later and just patch up the defenses a bit. For that, you can use a stone axe to repair things, or a hammer to repair things in one hit. Right. So the brass goes into the furnace. We'll put that in instead. Cans will need to be can be melted down and turned into iron. Iron is your big go-to for everything here. Iron is your bread and butter of this game. Once you've got enough iron, you can start to make steel. You can reinforce things a bit more heavily, like these panels were wood and now they're iron. So even things that are waste or things that are lower levels, like these are 376 and these are 385, so these are outdated and I can get more from these, but rather than just waste them, I'm putting them in the furnace to melt down for the iron that's inside them, which is going to be useful. I really think that's it. I mean, everything is exploration on this. You want to find optimally an area with access to water, access to a nearby town, access to woods, and any trees you chop down you can replant with the seeds, and it takes a while to grow. Start making a farm as soon as possible, and to start like putting things in like order, so you know where things are. Like, I know this is where I put my seeds, my flesh, things that I'm going to need in the future that I can't use quite yet now. Wax, animal fat is a good one. You can make wax with it and tallow for candles. You can also make, you can also burn it. You can also make it into gas later on. It's a really useful one, so get as much of that as you can. And when it's night, always be doing something and always be making something. So right now I'm making cloth. I'm gonna make a cotton seed because there's one spare out of that. Categorize everything nicely by hitting the inventory backpack button there, and just sorts that automatically. I got plenty of food in here, so let's put that in the food drawer. And I also have some stuff to go into the excess drawer here. Health up there, which is nice. Just collection of things to make weapons and that sort of thing, repair weapons with. Should get maybe one aloe vera cream and then put the rest into seed format. And I need to replant those as well, so that's an important one. Oh, also you see that I've got like the dungarees here, and I picked up some other dungarees. Once you got your workbench, if you put that into slot A and slot B, we'll actually repair it and combine it to make it higher level, so that's better for you. So even if you got duplicates of things, hang on to them, because as soon as you get a workbench you can combine them all. Like these things started off quite low level, but because I combined everything that I had, they just increased in size and like value. And when you find a shop, you can either trade clothes, because you don't need them all, but you can trade what you've got for something else. So I'm going to put these away right here, but later on when I go to a trader, I can trade that in for higher value of coins, or casino tokens is the coinage here. and once I've done that, then I can buy things with it that will help me survive, things that I can't get straight away. On my first playthrough, I was able to buy a machete, which was amazing because everything I skinned was just like 100% top quality of like meat that I could get out of it, which was really, really useful. Because as I said before, all I could do at that point was make. I couldn't really farm, and I didn't know how to farm, so everything that I hunted, I needed to eat almost immediately. With my hunting this time, I've got plenty of meat in here. I'm just going to eat that one. But I've also got some nice amount of water. It's just enough to keep yourself going, really, and it's just enough to keep on keeping on. And yeah, after a while, if you keep fortifying your base and keep going enough, then you'll be able to start expanding, and as your stamina increases, you can walk further. There's a town that I just go into, I dip in, I get what I need, and I come back. I leave plenty of time to do any makeshift repairs in case there was a horde attack when I was gone, or if I'm running a bit late, then I can get in and just shut the doors and fortify. Just basic things like that. I mean, any questions, put them down in the comments and I will endeavour to answer them, because I got a lot of time waiting for the other video to go up. I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish this challenge today. There is I mean, it's 17 hours now, so that's what, 3 hours and a half. So if I play this game for another 3.5 hours, I get that trophy, and then I can uninstall this one and leave. I might do depends. I might decide to do a quick tutorial on how to survive by loading up a game and doing a quick playthrough, just one week of how to survive for the first week, and then install it, because like I say, this game is taking up a hell of a lot of space. Not specifically this save, but the other save, it takes up just a lot of space on my drive, and I want it gone, for the fact that I want to install other things. Last of Us 2 is coming, and I'm very excited for that. And just generally games in future. I mean, during lockdown I've been able to do a lot of this stuff and push through a lot of it quite quickly, so that things that were previously left alone I've gone back to and I've sort of finished off, and that's freed up my hard drive on other games. But now I'm at the point where, right, I need to start freeing up space, so I need to make sure that all of this stuff is like done and dusted, and then I can just leave. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Like I say, any comments below, any questions you have, put them in the comments below. And thanks for watching. And I'm still going with the other game. I just wanted to knock this one out of the ballpark today, because it was nearly done, and then I can just uninstall it and focus my attention back on the other game, and then it's done. I swear, it's coming, I swear. It's actually looking closer and closer now, because since I sped up time, I slow it down on night 7, so the wave destroys more defenses. So now I'm thinking probably end of this week, and it's Tuesday now, just to date this video. End of this week, I reckon I can get it done. So hopefully I will see you there. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. So it takes me a little while to spot. I just see something moving in the distance, and then I realise it's dogs. So I'm moving, I'm panicking right now because I've got no armour, and against a pack of dogs I can see at least 2. There's usually more than 2. I know that I'm not going to be able to do much. I really try and lay down spikes and like turn and run, but I end up hurting myself. But I know they're coming for me. I'm around that little area, which is either water or spikes, which should slow them down. I almost overshoot it, but I'm so desperate to get in, and then I do get in and I'm safe, because they would have ripped me apart. But then later I craft some armor later in that day, and I can just hear something, and I'm like in the menus, and then I just hear and see the dog, and there he is, and I'm just like, oh, I got this axe, I'll chop with the, I'll find the gut, I'll just, and then I realize I need health immediately, and it's not equipped, so I'm running, trying to look for the house right now, because my map, I'm just trying to shoot the dogs, heal up, and find the house, and know where I'm going, and I can't see it on the compass. Take that guy out, then this one comes along again, so I'm like, heal up again, and I'm a little bit more in control now. I realise I didn't quite reload on that one, and then I'm in the water, and at this point I'm just trying to get them to die, and after that shot did pretty much nothing at close range. I'm like running, let's get some distance on it, get some health back. I know he's going to come after me, and then there's another one there. So now I'm just looking for the house, just trying to find the house, and then I just see it. It was blind luck, and I'm running for that little spike corner, which I can, hopefully they'll overshoot, and once again I feel like I'm gonna die any second here, but I just gotta keep running, not get hit by the spikes, and hope that the spikes will stop them. Get in the house, close the door. I haven't got any health, so I'm straight to the cupboard with the health, and I'm like straight up trying to find the health, and then grab the health, and then I gotta stop myself from being infected, and then I gotta make sure the dogs are dead. But I survived all of that somehow, despite the massive panic, and won.